Good morning. It is 6:24 a.m. on Monday, January 15th, 2018. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So, yesterday we so I think okay. Brain short circuit. Yesterday I played a game called Fiasco. And this was with part of the group that I sometimes play Dungeons and Dragons with. We're playing the Curse of Strahd campaign, but we couldn't get everybody together this week, so we decided we would get together to play something with those of us who could, and so we played Fiasco. It was just me and two of my players, Lee and Nutty, and in Fiasco, I'm not the dungeon master. It is a collaborative game by three people. Everyone who's playing is equal in that sense, but is collaborative storytelling and designed to have everything go horribly, horribly wrong, like in a Coen Brothers movie, or just essentially like think about A Simple Plan or Fargo or whatever, where you have ordinary characters who uh, maybe have a desire to get involved with some sort of like a petty crime or illicit activity, and end up way over their heads, and everything goes terribly, terribly wrong for everybody. Um, and so that's kind of what we did, and so that was fun. We picked the Boomtown playset, which is kind of an old west Deadwoody style town, and we ended up telling the story of you know, uh, an old woman with some reawakening passion, living with her son-in-law, now a widower, um, who's under crushing debt, who had once been taken in by a con woman, and that con woman is now posing as a faith healer who has found her new best patient in the old woman that I began with. So we have an awful little triangle there, and between them, they got everybody, you know, killed or murdered or ruined. There were some side characters who made it out okay. Anyway, that was it. It was a pretty fun game. I have played it at conventions once or twice, and I was a little bit hesitant just because I guess I felt like I hadn't played it, and then people kept pointing out times in which I had, and I'm like, oh, right. And I was just realizing, oh, the only times I've played it before were at conventions where I was, not entirely sober, so I didn't remember it as vividly as I might otherwise. But it's definitely a fun game. You use dice, but I don't want to say a limited capacity. I just mean it's compared to say Dungeons and Dragons, it's more about just having the scene go whichever way seems like it's the most interesting in terms of how telling a fiasco story. And yeah, it was pretty good. And so that is gonna post the video of it's gonna post today. The one kind of regret about it just a little bit is we spent like the first 20 minutes or so, I think, just trying to figure out some of the technical difficulties we were having. But yeah, what are you gonna do? Back to work. Hopefully, I on the more normal schedule this week. It occurred to me that, especially because I don't talk about my work very much, that sometimes when I speak about it in vague terms, I am unclear. Um, I don't know how much I feel like going into more detail, but I was just realizing how um, when I was talking this past week about needing to do a test and the timing of it, some people thought that I was like taking a test, like, I don't know, a career advancement exam or something like that, um, or something. But no, the gist of it is that the reason for the timing and all of that is that there's a piece of equipment normally used for production that runs 24/7, except during very specific windows. And I was performing a test on something related to its function that can only be done when it's not in operation. And so that was the limiting factor there. Not it wasn't just like capricious scheduling in terms of like, oh, randomly they're mean or something saying 2 a.m. Saturday or whatever. It's like, no, it's based on the needs of the actual process. And the problem was not that time so much as being told the wrong time at first. And ultimately, I didn't do it at 2 a.m. anyway. I just did it later that day. 2 a.m. was just the earliest I could have done it. So I don't know if that clears things up. I don't know. I'm still actually a little brain foggy this morning. Anyway, I will talk to you guys tomorrow for 5 more minutes.